Put in that word. Another one.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm the Fantasy Typhoon, a.k.a. The Mentalist, a.k.a. your favorite analyst. And on today's show, we're just going to recap some fantasy football. We're just going to go through some redraft. We're going to touch on a little bit of dynasty notes. We're just going to give out nuggets on this show. What we're doing is like a brain dump. Sitting here talking with my good friend Jeff Haseley of the world-famous Football Guys. He's welcome to take time out of his busy day to come join the show. We're just going to talk a little football, just two guys just having some fun. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. And I wish we could have done this last year, but for whatever reason, my schedule, your schedule, I guess it didn't happen. But I'm happy to do it again and looking forward to getting into it.
Look, folks, if you don't know, we do this. We've been doing this show every year. We usually do it around training camp time, right in the middle of the training camp. But, since that's going to be a little bit secluded and a little bit taped off, we won't really get those good nuggets and preseason gems. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of push the calendar up and kind of give it to you now. Well, Jeff, what sleeper do you have for? Well, hold on. Let me say this too. Now, we've been doing this for what, about 6 years?
Something like, yeah, at least. Yeah.
He has, this is Jeff's, this is where Jeff stands up and he shines. He called Terry McLaurin last year. He called Devonte Freeman before he really broke out.
Well, that wasn't last year, but yeah.
It wasn't last year. I'm just saying,
right.
His resume is, when you listen to this show and what he's telling you, man, when week 6 turns around, oh man, Jeff told me about this guy. So that's what we're here to do, kind of bring it to you. And this is his wheelhouse. This is where I think he really shines at. Well, so Jeff, let's go ahead and get going, man. What you got for the folks out there, man? What you got?
The most important position in fantasy football is running back, right? Outside of quarterback, running back is what's important. Running back is what we all go for in the first round of the draft, and we want to make sure that we have a strong stable of backs in our roster, right? Would you agree with that? Absolutely, because after 12 or 14 backs, that talent level kind of just drops down. So I want to find out a little bit more about those that I want to talk about some more of these running backs that people are a little bit unsure of. It's easy to say Christian McCaffrey is the number one back, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, this and that.
Right.
Actually, I do want to talk about, before I get into that, I do want to talk about Dalvin Cook because I want to get your opinion on him. Aside from injuries and concerns of injury
you took me out.
Aside from that, do you like Dalvin Cook? Do you like the offense? Do you like his role, how he's used, target shares that he's getting, carry shares he's getting? Because I honestly, I'm on the fence with him, and I try to stay away from him. I like Alexander Mattison. I'm a little bit concerned about Cook's injury history in the past. So I'm a little standoffish when it comes to Dalvin Cook, but I can appreciate others who might be interested in him, and I'm kind of curious where you stand.
Now, Dalvin Cook, recently, he's coming off where? He's coming off in what, the first round? You got Fantasy Football Calculator pulled up?
I don't, but I can give you information and such. But yeah, he's first round.
He's coming off about the first round. What would you say? Like right after Devonte Adams, right before Joe Mixon?
I would say somewhere around like the 8th, 9th, 10th pick, somewhere around in there. It depends.
Let's just say 8th through 12th to be safe.
Okay.
His injury history is why I'm out. It has nothing to do with his talent and nothing to do with the offensive scheme he is. It's just a simple fact that I don't even think he's been around and been actively able to play it for your fantasy football league when it most matters, and that's in your championships. That's when I need you. I don't need Alexander Madison then. I need Dalvin Cook. I need the guy I picked from round 8 through 12. So that's the only reason why I'm hesitant. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying he's going to get hurt, and I'm not saying he's injury prone. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is when I need him, to win that trophy so I can run my mouth and, talk junk to everybody else in my leagues, he's not there. He's missing. He's MIA. Now let's Dalvin Cook the person. Excellent running back out of Florida State. He's in what you call the ACE-W personnel, ACE meaning 2 tight end sets. So it's a lot of running lanes because in regular personnel, you got the A, B, C gaps. But when you're throwing in the 2 tight ends, you're also adding 2 more gaps for him to run through. And which is they also run the outside stretch. And he runs that real well. Put his foot in the ground, cut back lanes. His vision is well enough to see it. Now his speed should, I can't knock him on his speed. I would like to see him with a little bit more speed, a little bit more game breaking speed. But hey, he can catch. His PPR value is through the roof. And if once he's playing, he's good. Now his contract situation, I don't really care about the contract situation because we all know that if you with this new CBA, he's showing up. He can threaten hold out all day. This is not going to be a Zeke situation or a Melvin Gordon situation from last year. He's showing up. So that's why I was telling folks, go ahead and sell Alexander Madison when that window was open. But as far as Dalvin Cook, the player and the situation and the scheme, love it. But I need you there 14, 15, 16.
So
I need you.
Would you say, would you take, would you bring him down a little bit, or are you kind of keeping him in that end of the first round in terms of, if you have the 7th pick, the 8th pick, 9th pick, are you targeting him? You said no, right?
No.
Would you take, are you going tight end or receiver instead of him then, if you have that pick?
What I'm trying to do, Jeff, in my redraft right now, the strategy that I'm looking for right now, I'm trying to do Devonte Adams or Michael Thomas, first round. Now, if I'm in that 1, 2, 3, 4 range, that's
different story.
McCaffrey through Kamara. So we're not talking about that window. Through that 5 through 12, if I can score Michael Thomas or Devonte Adams there, I'm happy. I'm doing my dance. And then in the second round, I'm Julio. Okay. That's what I'm doing thus far.
Gotcha. So you're going more for like a 3rd or 4th round running back, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. So then
not a zero running back.
Right.
Not a zero.
Just kind of waiting your time on a running back, but you don't want to wait too long because then they're going to be gone.
There you go.
Before I get into one running back that I'm kind of interested in that time frame, in the draft, in like the 3rd or 4th round. You want to hear it? You want to hear it?
Give it to me.
Now you've pumped it up a little bit too much, but no, I wanted to ask you. I actually posted this on Twitter earlier today. I've gotten 412 votes so far in like 4 hours that this poll's been on, and it's which running back would you rather have over the other 3 in a PPR redraft format? And the choices are Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, or Kenyon Drake. So who would you rather have? And I'll tell you who I would rather have, and I'll tell you who's in the lead in the poll. Sanders, Jacobs, Eckler, and Drake.
Drake, I can't trust Drake. Sorry.
Okay.
Eckler, if Rivers was there, Mr. Check Down.
Right.
I mean, so it's down to Sanders and Jacobs.
Yeah.
Love Jacobs. I don't know why are folks fading Jacobs. Oh my God. Love Jacobs.
I don't know either. That's my pick as well. I'm actually glad that you said that. He's also slightly leading the poll. 28.2% is the highest of all 4 of these choices. But
I'm taking Miles Sanders.
You're taking Miles Sanders?
Yeah. I love Jacobs and I love Miles Sanders, and it's kind of like a war between the two. Either one I walk away with, tell you the truth, Jeff. I'm not mad. I'm not. I'm not regretting.
So
What about you?
What about me? I like Miles Sanders in the fact that right now it's kind of a 2-man backfield in Philadelphia between him and Boston Scott, and Scott being more of that, receiving type of back. It gives Sanders that 3-down role, unless, of course, they sign a Devonte Freeman, a Lamar Miller, or maybe even LaShawn McCoy, which I don't think they'll do that. But I do think that they're going to go into the season with more than just Sanders and Scott as their like two main running backs, with Sanders being the top guy. But if they don't, I see Sanders making a big move. We saw what he was capable of last year. He had less than 200 carries, but still did well. I can see him, as long as the volume is there and as long as he can get the ball into the end zone. I think he could be a top 10 running back, especially in PPR where he's going to get catches. He had 50 catches last year. So
and he ran routes. He didn't just come out the backfield like on 3-count screens and like 1, 2, 3 dunk. No, he was running routes. He was running the pivot, the wheel, the Texas angles, options, which is most important. Anytime a running back comes out the backfield, Jeff, and they have one of those option routes where you kind of like, you really don't know where you're going until you see zoning man and you see what the defense is doing, and then you kind of counteract what the defense is bringing to you. Oh my God, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. And look, they're adding the back. So let's just go ahead and just call it what it is. They're not going to war with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders as your top two. With all the injuries that Philly has faced thus far, they just can't rely on well, hold on. How can I say this? They can rely on Miles Sanders, and they are going to rely on Miles Sanders. The thing is, what if Miles Sanders gets injured? That's what they're worried about. That's what the front office is worried about. That's the only reason why they're bringing in somebody, and they're bringing them in for support. They're not bringing them in to take Miles Sanders' job. They're not bringing him in to hinder what he's doing. He's there. That running back is coming in for support. Yeah,
kind of like what McCoy did with the Chiefs last year, I guess, in a sense.
For support.
So, all right, I can get on board that, but I still like Josh Jacobs a lot. I think he's going to have a big season in his second year. He'll be used more, but I love the fact that Sanders is, someone who's going to get 40, 50 catches, if not more. I'm not sure we can say that about Jacobs, but I think Jacobs will score more touchdowns. So, it's pick your poison here.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to get that out, but now I want to talk about a running back that I'm targeting in like the 3rd or 4th round. And that, you ready for this?
What you got?
That is David Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
That's who I'm picking.
All right. So look, David Johnson, it's easy to write him off, right? We saw him weeks 1 through 6, I think it was. He was the 6th or 7th running back in the league last year in terms of fantasy production. Then he got hurt, right? And then they brought in what's his name? Kenyon Drake, as well as Chase Edmonds, right? So they made the trade. They brought in Drake, and of course they had Edmonds, and they both do well. And here's Johnson. He comes back. He's not really necessarily fully healthy. He's probably nagging injuries and dealing with that. And at this particular time, it's Drake's team, and even Edmonds had a really good couple weeks. But as far as Johnson is concerned, I think that he's someone, when he was traded to Houston, I think this is someone that Houston wants to work around and use as much as they can. I think he's got the ability to do that. Like you just talked about, as far as running routes, a running back who can run routes, Johnson is definitely one of those. We don't really know who's going to handle all of the targets in Houston now that DeAndre Hopkins is out of there. Johnson's definitely capable. In fact, there was a year, I forget which year it was, maybe 2016, when he and Larry Fitzgerald on the Cardinals accounted for 50% of the team's total targets, which is just insane to even think about. But I can see Johnson just racking up the targets, not just as a runner, and he's going to do well, I believe, but as a receiver. And to be able to get him when you're getting him, as far as in the draft, I'm just looking up his average draft position here. Let's see, in a 12-team, 3-8. So the 8th pick in the 3rd round, the 32nd overall pick. is roughly where David Johnson is going, and he's like the 17th running back off the board. So is that your guy that you're targeting there in that third, fourth round?
Absolutely, and he's been going in the fourth, so I've just been laughing.
Would you take him over Melvin Gordon?
Absolutely.
Okay. James Conner? I like Conner too.
I like Conner. I like Conner, man. I know Conner's not what I call an official baller.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get what he gives you. He's going to get what's there, basically. You got a good scheme and system in Pittsburgh, which is more what I'm buying into as opposed to Conner. Did that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So I'm not really buying Conner. I'm buying the Pittsburgh offense and the way they utilize their running backs. That's what I'm buying.
Right, and the competition there behind him, it's not that great. You've got Jalen Samuels, you've got Antonio McFarland, and who's the other one? Benny Snell. I don't really see them overtaking Conner here, and I think Conner's going to get a lot of that volume. So, and I rank them. What do I have? I have Johnson, Gordon, and Conner. But there's some times where I would take Conner ahead of Gordon. It just depends. It depends on how things are flowing. But I do like David Johnson. I think he's a great value at the end of the third round, beginning of the fourth, middle of the fourth. It just depends. All it takes is someone in your draft to, when it comes to his spot in the draft, to, think, I had him last year. I had him the year before, and he wasn't that great for me. And, so they pass on him, and it opens up the opportunity for you to pick him. So Johnson is some. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. I was just going to say Johnson is someone that has been there before. We know what he's capable of. I think, what is he, turning 28? That's still a good year for production. He's on a team that is going to target him quite a lot as a receiver as well as a rusher. He's going to get a lot of carries. Volume. We know we want volume in fantasy football. We want volume. We want opportunity, and we want execution. And Johnson can give us all of that.
Well, what I see, Jeff, is the fantasy community are making two fatal flaws when they're judging David Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
One is they're grading him off of last year, which was an injury year.
Right.
So you input in that, and he's no good. He's finished. And he lost his job. He did lose his job to Kenyon Drake. That's absolutely, he did.
Mm-hmm.
But that was more due to the injury.
Yeah.
And it was more due to them shifting over to schemes, because they could do a lot more with Kenyon Drake in the backfield as opposed to
and you
David
also
Johnson in the backfield.
you also have to take into consideration that Cliff Kingsbury wasn't there when Johnson was there before. That was Bruce Arians. So
three.
Kingsbury wants Drake, and when Drake's taking off and he's doing so well, and Johnson's hurt, when Johnson comes back, Drake's got the role. I see a little bit of frustration on Johnson's part. So, maybe he's not going to necessarily try as hard, even when he returns back to form. And at that time, it was Drake's team anyway, and they're moving on. And this is Johnson's chance to come back, to return to form, and show what he's capable of doing. And I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see a lot of that in Houston.
Have you been keeping up with his Insta live stories and his Twitter?
What, David Johnson?
Keeping up with kind of what he's doing, his off-season regimen.
I do know that he's working hard. I know that he's focusing on that. That's
grinding.
About all I know.
He's grinding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now you factor that in too, which is number 4. I was just trying to give 2 points, but Jeff brought up 3 and 4. Now you bring in the main one. All right. Think back when, think back to I don't know if it was the AFC Championship game or what it was when they were playing Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Houston jumped out to that nice lead.
24-0.
24-0, and Mahomes just erased it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We do realize that at that point in time, Bill O'Brien was the GM, the head coach, and the offensive coordinator, right? So it was what he wants. Basically, it's what he wants. So after that game, this is just me kind of looking in from what I've seen. I got a series I call Listen with Your Eyes. You kind of just pay attention to what's happening and then add it up on your board. All right. So when he gets back to, this is just me picturing it. So when he got back to his office, he's like, wow, okay, we're not explosive. So this HW personnel offense that I'm running with traditional West Coast tendencies, it's not it. I gotta blow this up, right? Because I run into Kansas City, I probably see him next year, probably see him in 2022, so and so forth, so on. I gotta beat this team, is what I'm saying that he's in his mind.
Yeah.
Right. So they have DeAndre Hopkins, which is a phenomenal receiver, but he's an X receiver, right? He's a big body receiver, and he's looking for the double coverage to help slow him down, which means Watson has to hold the ball for a long time. Now he's open to more sacks. So he's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ship. And I don't know if he wanted to actually ship him off to Arizona for David Johnson. I don't know how that came into play, but you know what? He wanted to get rid of he wanted to get rid of D-Hop is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, what he got for D-Hop, I'm not talking about that. That's the GM. So we all know he lost that trade, but that's what he wanted to do is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
So he brings in David Johnson, then goes out and get Brandon Cooks, then relinquishes offensive coordinator duties over to Tom Kelly, something like that. So what they're going to do now, they're going to be more explosive. They're going downfield. They're taking more shots. They're doing more mismatch-based offense. They're doing more Clemson. They're making Watson a little bit more comfortable. They don't want Watson holding the ball, waiting for D-Hop to get open is what I'm saying. When Watson drops back, they want him to have the freedom to throw it to Cooks, throw it to Fales, throw it to Michel, throw it to Fuller, throw it to Cobb, or our guy, David Johnson, motioning out the backfield when they're in base, taking advantage of that mismatch. So you're going to see a new Deshaun Watson. You're going to see more receiving from the backfield than what you used to, than what they did with Carlos Hyde last year. So in other words, what I'm saying, everything and all the data that you had last year, throw it out the window because it's a whole new show in Houston this year, and they're going to be aggressive. They're going downfield, and Watson might get MVP this year. I said it.
There you go. Dude, that's interesting. You know, we need to change the title of this from Fantasy Football Redraft Sleepers to just, we haven't even gotten to the sleepers yet. Here we are 20 minutes in.
Hey, I don't care how long we go, man. I got time. All right. Look, I ran everybody out the house for about a good 3 hours, so I'm good.
Here, get out of here. Go shopping.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
Go. Take your mask now. Take your mask.
So, all right. So, who do you think the leading receiver is going to be in Houston? Is it Johnson, or are we talking about Cooks or Fuller if he can stay healthy? What do you think? They don't have a tight end. Shoot, I mean, not really. I don't look at their tight ends. Huh?
That's my point. That's my point. Last year, you knew they were going to D-Hop because they had to. He's what you call the X receiver. He keeps the offense on schedule. That's what the offense does.
And things are changing.
You know what I'm saying? It's a new day. It's a mismatch thing now. Whoever that linebacker runs out to, it's where the ball going. He can run out to he can run out to Cobb. It's Cobb's day. He can run out. Oh, don't come over here to Fuller. You know you're going to get burnt with Fuller.
Yeah.
It's Fuller's day.
Yeah.
So if you don't bring that person over the top, then Cooks can beat you deep. So it's pretty much he doesn't have like a main go-to. It's whatever the mismatch dictates. That's where the ball's going. So it's kind of it's going to be muddled the way this thing is going to play out because it's not going to be your usual fantasy football situation.
Yeah. Did you hear Tyrann Mathieu talk about he had a Q&A session where he said the receiver that he has the most trouble with, Will Fuller. Yeah. I mean, he's good. He's shown that he can do well, and he has really good rapport with Watson. He just needs to stay
Watson
healthy.
Throw a pretty deep ball, don't it?
Yeah, he does. He just needs to stay healthy. That's such a problem.
Are you speaking of Fuller? What you doing with Fuller?
Well, in Dynasty, I traded him. There's a couple players that I've traded. Fuller being one of them.
What did you get? What was your haul?
I wound up getting Terry McLaurin in the deal. I traded Fuller, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, Sanders is kind of past that point, but people still like him in New Orleans this year. But and that's kind of why I traded him, is because his value is higher. I forget who it was, and I got James Conner, and I traded Kenyon Drake in it as well. So I traded, I think it was Fuller, Sanders, and Drake, and I wound up getting Conner, McLaurin, and then a first round pick next year, something like that. I don't remember. There might be 2 trades involved that I can't really call, but essentially that's what I did as far as changing my team around. But you don't care about my team. Nobody cares about my team.
Who cares about your fantasy team, man?
Nobody cares. I don't even care that much. I do care, but
I know you do. You competitive, man.
Anyway, so David Johnson, I like David Johnson. We already talked a little bit about Connor. I like Connor. He's another one who just needs to stay healthy. And Melvin Gordon also too. I like Melvin Gordon, but I also like Phillip Lindsay too in Denver. And I don't think that we can, just brush him under the rug. Phillip Lindsay is someone I like, and that might be a little bit of a deterrent from Gordon. But yeah, I would take David Johnson, especially right around that period. And if you go with Kelsey in like round 2, like the second, third, fourth pick in the second round, you could come right back around and perhaps get Johnson, in the next round or 2. So
I'm glad you said that, Jeff. What are you doing with tight ends? How are you handling that in redraft this year? Because I've already come to the conclusion that if you win, let's say if you bypass let's just say the top 3, 4, however you want to put it. If you hit on that tight end 5 and you get him late, you're stacking your wide receivers and your running back through those nice rounds until you get that tight end, you can win your league just off that pick alone. What are you doing, man?
Well, there's people who drafted Hunter Henry last year wanting good things, and then took Darren Waller later on, and Waller became his, the number 1 tight end. So yeah, my focus is to try and target either one of Kelsey or Kittle in the second round, maybe even the third. It really just depends on the people that you're drafting with and how things are going. Mark Andrews is someone that wouldn't be a bad consolation, but I am a little bit concerned with his type 1 diabetes, even though he said he's going to play. I just Kelsey or Kittle would be my top 2 options, and for good reason. If I don't get them, I'm gonna wait. I'm either gonna target Gronk later on, Jared Cook later on.
Gronk. Okay.
Or I also like Mike Gesicki later on, and perhaps even TJ Hawkinson. Those are the guys that I'm kind of targeting. I'm kind of staying away from the Hunter Henrys, the Evan Ingrams, even the Darren Wallers. I'm a little concerned there, even though he did lead the Raiders in receptions last year. They've got a different team now, with Henry Ruggs coming on board. They've got more receivers. I still think that Waller's most likely going to be the leading receiver on the team, but he struggled to get in the end zone last year. Could he turn that around this year? Sure he can. But he's also, someone who, we saw not do much for the first couple years in the NFL, and then he turns around and has this great season. We don't really see continued great seasons from those types of players in the past, as far as case histories are concerned. Now, if you're someone who lives and dies by what's happened in the past can happen in the future, then that may not be a good move. And then other people are saying, well, you never know. Every case is different. Darren Waller, he was a receiver at first. Now he went to tight end. Didn't do anything at Baltimore, and the Raiders give him a chance. Gruden loves the guy. Finally gives him a chance, and here he comes, and he blossoms into this really great tight end. Can we see that this year? I don't know. So there's a little bit of a concern there. There's some uncertainty there. But getting back to Gronk, I was not on the Gronk train when he first signed.
I was like, I'm out.
He hasn't played since the Super Bowl from the 2018 season in February of 2019, right, against the Rams. And even that year, he kind of had a down year. He's hurt. He's been hurt. We saw the decline. We're thinking, is he going to retire? He talked about retiring. And then here Tom Brady signs with the Buccaneers, and Tom says, hey, Rob, why don't you play with me? And he's like, yeah, in his Rob Gronkowski way. And everything's all peaches and roses and unicorns, right? And my initial thought, honestly, was, though, that here's an injury-prone type of receiver. We're not sure what we're going to get. He hasn't played for a long time. But look, if Tom Brady wants him to play and he says yes, right, who do you think Brady is going to turn to when it comes to a 3rd and 11 and he needs someone who knows the route? He knows the route really well, and he knows the tendencies that Gronk has. He can just, he knows what he's going to do. He knows that he'll fake right and go left, or fake left and go right. That's what he knows. Just like Phillip Rivers knows Keenan Allen. Tom Brady knows Rob Gronkowski, so he's going to be his hot read, and he's also going to be someone he's going to be targeted in the red zone. I don't really see Gronk, Brady, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin all being top 10 in their position. I kind of don't see that. I think we're either going to get one of Chris Godwin or Mike Evans as being the higher ranked receiver, and I'm kind of leaning towards Godwin there, but I still think that Evans has some ability. I just don't know if I can see a top, 12 receivers for both of them. What's your take on that? I've been talking a lot. What's your take on the Buccaneers and Gronk and Evans and Godwin?
I get to that in 1 second. I want to know your thoughts on this.
Okay.
I'm looking at my phone. I'm not paying attention to you. I'm doing research for you. Okay. And I'm looking up some of the 8th round, man. It's packed. Okay, what are we doing here in the 8th round in the FFPC? This just came off yesterday. Okay. You
looking at tight ends, you mean?
Yeah, tight ends. I'm going to give them to you. All in the 8th round now. 8th round is the tight end round.
Yeah, it varies. Sometimes it's 6 or 7. Sometimes it's 9. But it really just depends on the run and when it starts.
All right. Well, here's the run, and tell me what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith, Noah Fant, Dallas Goedert, T.J. Hawkinson, Rob Gronkowski, and Mike Gesicki.
So Jared Cook is off the board. He's got to be, right?
Where is Jared Cook at?
Jared Cook would probably be my safe target there.
I don't know where he is, man.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. He's in the 10th.
Really?
Yes.
So I would take Cook there. I like Cook this year. He had 9 touchdowns last year. The Saints as a whole. The Saints as a whole had 12 touchdowns to tight ends last year, which is a lot considering what they were in the years past. I think Cook is someone who can do well and perform well. You've got a strong offense. Mike Thomas is going to get a lot of offense, but so is Jared Cook. As long as Breeze is there, I like Jared Cook, especially taking him a little bit late like that. He's a target of mine, but so is Gronk, and so is Mike Gesicki. I like Gesicki.
Jeff.
What? Well,
you know how your brain goes ding, 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 ding. That's it. That's the right answer. You know what? Jared Cook just might be my late round guy.
There you go.
You might, Jeff, you might have won my league for me, man.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do like Jared Cook, and I also like Gesicki, however you say his name. If you look at Gesicki, since week 9 last year, he was 8th among tight ends in PPR scoring. And he finished 1 fewer point than Darren Waller and 3 points fewer than Mark Andrews, all after week 9. What does that tell you?
I know, right?
He also had 5 touchdowns too, and he posted 5 top 10 weekly finishes in his final 9 games. And of course, during that stretch is when he had those 5 touchdowns. But, he's definitely someone who's rising. And right now, I think we're probably looking at Ryan Fitzpatrick. But even if not, you got Tua Tagovailoa coming in. I think for fantasy purposes,
you think it goes down? You think it goes down when Tua enters the game, or what's your thoughts?
Oh, I think it will just early on, all right? Unless, of course, Tua really gets a grasp of things, and he becomes more of a mobile type of quarterback, not necessarily like a Lamar Jackson, but more like a Deshaun Watson. I kind of see him more as a Deshaun Watson than I do anything. I think we're going to be impressed with Tua. I just don't think it's necessarily going to happen, so this year maybe, or if not this year. Away. Yeah, like halfway through the year. He's someone that is just going to take a little bit of time to roll. Now, Joe Burrow, on the other hand, I think Burrow is someone who could come on, week 1 and be pretty strong. And it looks like that's what they're leaning because they don't really have an alternative. It's Burrow or bust in Cincinnati. I know, right? But anyway, getting back to Gesicki, and you've got, of course, Chan Gailey's offense. And tight end is not something that has been too kind to a Chan Gailey offense there. Or, excuse me, Gailey hasn't been too kind to tight ends, right? But
good nugget.
You can't discount the fact that what Gesicki did last year. You just can't. And I think we're going to continue to see his growth and development. And, but he's more of like a tight end 2 instead of a tight end. I would be more happy and pleased if I had Gesicki as my tight end 2 rather than tight end 1 and just waiting. I'd rather have Jared Cook and then maybe give me Gesicki like the next round. Like take 2 tight ends back to back, the 8th and 9th round or 9th and 10th round. I like Hawkinson in that way too. But I have Gesicki over Hawkinson in my opinion, but I have Cook over them all. And I've got Rob Gronkowski potentially over them all. But I'm more safe with Jared Cook than I am Gronk. So I tend to draft more Cook than Gronk.
Now you asked me about Gronk, and we somehow didn't get to it. You was in the flow, so I didn't want to kind of interrupt your flow.
That's all right.
I want to let Jeff want to let you get your thoughts out to the masses. I don't try not to interrupt your thoughts.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Now, Gronk, man. Okay, let's look at it this way. Mm-hmm. Let's reason. Let's sit down and reason together, folks. Let's reason.
Okay.
You got Mike Evans, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns plus, right?
Maybe 10 touchdowns.
You got Chris Godwin, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, right?
It seems like it on paper.
You got a running back out the backfield, 400, 500 yards, 2 touchdowns, right? Something like that.
You mean receiving, right?
Yeah, running back out the backfield catching.
Yeah, that might be a little high, but yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Then you got OJ Howard doing a breakout year. I'm hearing. What we doing with OJ?
So OJ Howard is the great unknown.
So you can't have it all. You can't have it all.
Because if Gronk does get hurt, guess who you have? Oh, and there's also Cameron Brate. Do you think they go into the season with Brate, Gronk, and OJ Howard?
Absolutely. I can see 13 all day.
You do? Well, they do more 2 tight end sets though, too, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess it is good to have some depth, and they definitely have it. OJ Howard is one of these guys that you want to take late. If you take Gronk, to have him as a handcuff, I support that. But even if you don't have Gronk, I support taking OJ Howard as a late tight end, just because there is so much value if Gronk does get hurt, and it sure seems like he might. But when he plays, man, he's going to be tough to beat. I think that I honestly do. I started off not liking him, and now I'm thinking that he and Brady are going to have that chemistry which they've always had, and as long as he's healthy, he'll be good. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you again. So go ahead, finish.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You mentioned OJ Howard, and I was like, oh.
The bell, ding, 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 ding. The bell went off in your head too.
Yeah. OJ Howard is just someone that could be a league winner. He
could be a dominator.
Because
he could be a zero. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. And even though I'm an analyst, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything, folks. I don't mind telling you, I don't know. OJ Howard, I don't know.
Yeah, but if anyone's going to lift him up, it's Brady. Jameis Winston wasn't lifting him up.
He was open too. Winston wasn't giving him the ball.
No. Yes.
Now. All right, Gronk. Now here's my thing with Gronk, man. I'm like you. When Gronk first said, "All right, I'm coming back," I'm going to Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, backs, concussions, and knees. I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with backs. I learned my lesson.
Right.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Anybody with a back problem, out. Then it started lingering on me. Then you started seeing pictures of Gronk. You started seeing him getting bigger. Okay, he's starting to. Oh, that's what 2018 Gronk.
Yeah.
You know, you started seeing. I'm talking about as far as body wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to rethink it again, because fantasy football is a fluid. It's a fluid, it's a fluid concept.
Range of outcomes.
Then I look at some film.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Rob Gronkowski is a dominant tight end. You hear me?
Yeah, he is. He can do it all,
and
man.
Then,
he can block.
And then you look at
catch, receive.
Then you look at what you said. The most important thing is when all else fails, where is Brady going with the football?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to Gronk.
He's going to there. There's no James White.
Red zone. Where is he going? He's going to Gronk.
He's going to Gronk.
You can't double him. You gotta do something with Evans. You gotta do something with Godwin. You gotta do something with the running back out the backfield, and you gotta do something with OJ.
Kind of makes me think that Brady's going to be a top 10 quarterback again.
And then you look at Brady from last year's film. Brady outside the numbers is done.
Mm-hmm.
Brady down the middle of the field. Oh, check.
Yeah.
Where's Gronk, folks?
Yep.
Right down the seams.
Yep. And
OJ, right down the seams.
Yep. That's another reason to kind of be concerned about Mike Evans, too, because he's more of a perimeter receiver.
I'm in on Gronk, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Would you take Gronk over Jared Cook?
God, dog.
I mean, Cook's what? Yeah. 35? How old is Jared Cook?
Yeah, why you do it to me? I'll take Gronk. That's more of being a fanboy. I'll lean more towards me want to have fun on Sunday as opposed to
33.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I take Gronk just because I like Gronk on my team, and I have fun watching Gronk, and I like to watch Saints gets a lot of national televised exposure as well, so so they'll get primetime games. But I like watching my player play, especially on Sunday night and Monday night or Thursday night when they're exclusive, and that's my play out there playing. I really like that. So I kind of that you believe it or not, that tilts the scale on some of my draft picks because I want to have fun. I want to have fun, and fun. I'm taking Gronk. I don't know about Cook. I gotta do some research on Cook. Okay. You made me think though.
Yep.
But I like Gronk, man.
Yeah.
But folks, you're not going to get everything you want out of Tampa Bay because it's not going to be a lot of turnovers. So they're not going to have to be doing this last minute surge and get all these what they call them garbage points.
Garbage points, yards. Yeah.
So
garbage time.
5,000-yard Brady is not happening.
No.
So somebody's going to lose. Godwin's going to lose. Evans going to lose. Somebody's losing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm a little concerned there, of the two, Evans and Godwin and Gronk. But
what you got next, man?
Next. I want to go back to running back because I want to talk to you about the Miami Dolphins running back battle situation with Jordan Howard and Matt Breida.
I'm out.
Are you out on both of them completely?
Yeah, I'll just sit back and wait until they get that. Well, you know what they're doing, right?
Tell me.
What
are they doing?
Of course, they're going through a whole new rehaul, right?
Yeah.
And they brought their quarterback in. And what they're going to do, sooner or later, Tua's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to evaluate Tua with Preston Williams, Devonte Parker, Matt Breida, Jordan Howard, and Gesicki. You know, they're going to sit back, watch how he throws. Then they're going to go out and buy the groceries for what he does. They've been building up the defense and all this and that to stay close, because they know what they have in Tua. They just don't know what kind of skill set Tua needs around him.
So do you think they're just kind of pawns then on the offense right now?
Everybody's a pawn.
Okay.
Next year, all those picks, those first round, those second round, they're going straight offensive firepower, and they're going to come in and push everything you got out right out the door.
Okay.
So, as far as dynasty-wise, your days are numbered on everybody except for, I would say, Matt Breida and Preston Williams and Gesicki. Of course, Gesicki is going to stick around. Preston might stick around. I don't know. Breida might not stick around. I don't know. If they bring in a first-round running back, Breida's done.
Yeah, right. That's the concern. But I guess we'll find out.
Since this is a redraft show, you know what? Can you tell me where they're going? I need to know their price first. Everything is can be bought at the right price. Any player, I don't care who he is. What is the price? And I'll tell you whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there, but if I had to pick, honestly, my gut tells me that Matt Breida is going to be the one who
takes a baller,
who takes the job. Yeah, in his career, 5 yards per carry, 5.0 yards per carry on 381 carries.
Wait. That's a Shanahan system. It's a Shanahan system.
Okay.
That's a Shanahan system.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Don't get misled on the outside zone. Don't let it do it to you. Don't let it get you.
All right, no, but he does. He plays with reckless abandon, it seems, and you know, sometimes that hurts him because he gets hurt a lot. He's kind of like Chris Ivory. Remember him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He just runs right into the pile and boom. I could kind of see Breida though being more of a electric type of back rather than Jordan Howard, who seems like he's more of a volume back. You know, they give him the ball more. He's kind of more like the back that gets the first opportunity, but he doesn't do well enough to keep it. You know, that's kind of how I see him. And he's also struggled inside the 5. I think, what was he 1 for 5 on carries inside the 3 last year in terms of scoring a touchdown. So, I mean, that's something to be concerned about. Like you, I'm a little bit, you know, not necessarily like completely sold on the Miami rushing game. But if I had to pick, I think Breida would be my gut choice to be the fantasy target there. You know, of course, there's like a running back 4 or 5, something like that, right? Somewhere you're going to have low risk and a potential reward.
Breida's going in the 8th. Jordan Howard is going in the 9th. What you doing?
What am I doing in the 8th and 9th? I'm probably taking tight end.
No. I'm saying we're talking about those 2 guys right now. What are you doing? Are you taking one of them or passing, or what are you doing? You're passing. So you're passing.
Yeah, I'm probably passing unless I really need a backup running back that I just don't have enough running backs and I'm throwing a dart on someone. Other than that, I think I'm passing.
All right, so looking at the Miami Dolphins, they're going to be behind, right? Safe to say?
I think that's safe to say. I mean, they're not going to lead the AFC East.
That's going to take Howard off the field pretty much, right?
Yeah, right.
So by default, and in the 9th round, being a round later. No, I'm sorry. He was around earlier. My fault.
I would take Breida in the 10th round, though, if he was there. But I probably would take J.K. Dobbins over him if that were the option.
Love J.K. Dobbins. Let's see.
They're coming around the same time. 9th round, 10th round.
I would do, if I had to, you know what, man? I'm going to take, I don't know what to do there. I'm taking Jordan Howard, man.
Okay. A lot of people think that Howard's going to get the ball first, and have the first crack.
Jordan Howard's underrated. He's been underrated, man.
Yeah. Now, if Ronald Jones is there, we're taking him, right? How about Ronald Jones or Raheem Mostert? Which one do you like better?
I got to go Shanahan.
Mostert.
I got to go Shanahan backfield, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to
anything
that.
Shanahan backfield, I got to have it.
We just won't let that get out to Ronald.
My bad, Rojo.
That's right.
No, I take Rojo, man. I take Rojo. I was just playing. I roll with my dog.
There you go.
I gotta roll with my boy.
All right. Where are you at with the New England backfield? Do you like Sony Michel? Not at all. Do you like Damian Harris? Do you care about the New England backfield at all? They're gonna have to be passing a lot, right?
I mean,
what do you think? Or is Cam going to be the savior for that team?
Man, Jeff.
Sometimes
you just don't know. You got to wait till week 1 and kind of reassess. Sometimes they don't give you enough information, man. You just gotta wave the flag.
I'm concerned about Michel though, with the injuries that he's had, his knee, his foot. I mean, foot surgery that he recently had.
Everything for the right price. Everything for the right price.
I mean,
where's he going?
I don't know.
I'll tell you in a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, Sony Michel. I mean, he's probably right around that 9th round too, I would think. Maybe 10th.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
Maybe the 10th round. My thoughts on Damian Harris mostly come because of the fact of the uncertain health status of Michel. And we know that he had off-season foot surgery. He's had knee troubles in the past. Harris is capable. I mean, he had a good career with Alabama, and he's yet to see the field in New England and Belichick's offense. And the question is why. But at the same time, you kind of see that, though, with rookies and Belichick. But just looking at the last 2 third-round running backs from the SEC, first of all, do you know who those are? The last 2 third-round running backs in the SEC.
Who?
Alvin Kamara and Kenyon Drake and our boy Damian Harris.
So that makes him a star now?
I'm just saying he's in good company. But and he comes from, Alabama, nice pedigree. I just think that we're going to see a chance for him this year. How he handles that is yet to be seen, but I do like him as a late pick. I definitely like him over taking Sony Michel at his ADP in like the 10th round. I would rather take Damian 10th round. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I would rather take Damian Harris. When's he? Like 15th round? What?
He's probably going undrafted.
Undrafted?
He's probably going behind 15th.
Okay,
I would say.
So I would rather take a flyer on Harris than I would on Michel. That's just my opinion.
What about Brandon Bolden? What about Brandon Bolden as your last pick? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I'm taking Sony.
Okay.
Out of that backfield, I'm choosing Sony. I can't confuse injury as to what he's brought there to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's brought there to run that offense. Now, of course, Belichick, like you said, I'll piggyback on that, which is true. Belichick is a little bit tighten the screws on his rookies a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He does have them stressed out. So that's why you really didn't see Damien Harris last year. Mm-hmm. But when I did see him in preseason, my God, did he look slow. Woo! You remember that?
I don't really remember much of it. No.
Oh, my God. He had a wide open lane to the touchdown. The defensive back came from all the way from the other side of the field and tackled him before he got it. I'm like, oh, my. Does he have cement feet? Or what happened to him? Did he have some kind of surgery? Or that's not the Damien Harris I saw in Alabama.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
So now I don't know what to expect. Now that scared me. So now I don't know. Now I don't know what to do with Damien Harris.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out, and I'll be okay to be wrong now. Damien Harris could be the next thing. He can block, he can catch, and he can run between the tackles. So he can do it all.
What if Devonte Freeman or Lamar Miller signs with the Patriots?
Oh my God. I'll laugh at all y'all. I'll sit back and laugh at all y'all for taking one of those Patriot running backs in the first place.
Yeah.
But if I had to, I'd take Sony. I'd take Sony in the 10th. Absolutely.
Okay. Fair enough.
Zero running back. I'll say this so we can move on. Zero running back theory, Sony in the 10th. I'm in.
Okay.
All day. So it depends on what technique you're running and depends on the scenario. Every player has a place in what scenario and what round, what price.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I want to move on to wide receiver if we can, because now I want to kind of get into a sleeper that I sort of like. And this is, of course, I hate to say this because it's the New York Jets, but I was really impressed with Breshad Perriman, Breshad Perriman, last year with the Bucks. I don't know if you saw this or not, but I mean, from week 13 on, only Michael Thomas and Devonte Parker had more fantasy points in a PPR format than Perriman after week 13. And, a lot of that, of course, had to do with the Bucks, high volume passing offense and them having the need for garbage yards and such. But when I see a receiver do that, and now he signs with a new team, the Jets, they've got Jamison Crowder, they have him, they've got Denzel Mims. There's an opportunity for Perriman to earn that wide receiver one, even in the Jets offense, which is, Adam Gase. We're all kind of wondering what's going to happen. Even in the Jets offense, I do think that there's value there. And when a player has that much success, in the tail end of the season, what do you think is going to come with the success? Confidence. And I think if he shows that same level of confidence and he's able to latch on with the Jets, I think he could be someone who could be, a fantasy starter or a flex option at least this year. And this is someone that you can get. Obviously, let me see if I can find out where he's being drafted. I don't know if you have that right now, but
I don't have it.
Breshad Perriman. Let's see.
And I forgot all about him, Jeff.
I mean, he was incredible at the end of the year, and a lot of that was just the fact that let's see, he's in the 13th round right now. Wide receiver 53. But just looking at what he did, let me look at his game logs here. Last year, he had
I can't do it.
2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. Week 14 to week 17. You can't do it simply because he's a Jet.
I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Mm-mm.
But even if it's someone that you can get as like your wide receiver 5, you wouldn't pick him up. Draft him. I mean,
5, yeah. Wide receiver 5, I'll do it, but I don't know. I might not do it then. It depends on who's on the board. Who's near him? Is Ayuk near that?
Let's see.
Can I get Ruggs, Ayuk?
Let's see. Let me look. Mike Williams of the Chargers is right above him. Mecole Hardman is below him. And that's probably going to change. I imagine Mecole Hardman's going to go up a little bit higher. Henry Ruggs is kind of around there. I do like Hardman. I like him for the fact that he's going to get looks, and he's got Patrick Mahomes on his side. And, he may not have consistent value. In a best ball, he's awesome. But, I mean, as far as, like, every week starting him in a redraft league, I'd be a little bit concerned. But at the same time, he could always have one of these, weeks that he just goes off.
He could do a Will Fuller day in a minute, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I do like Hardman, but, I'd rather have, let's see, who's around him? Well, Perriman. I'd rather have Perriman than Hardman. Probably, let's see, who else is around him? Michael Pittman is someone that I think is going to shine well with the Colts in year one. There's that whole rookie. What?
No.
You don't think Pittman?
Not first year.
You don't think?
No.
Tell me why, because I think he's going to be, he's not going to overtake T.Y. Hilton, but he's still going to be a part of that offense.
They're asking him to be the X.
Uh-huh.
He's not strong enough yet. He's got a lot to learn. He's a project right now. Maybe next year or the year after that, yeah. But this year, redraft, don't touch it.
That was one of the characteristics that the Colts liked about him was his ability to pick things up and his ability to play multiple roles. I mean, they really like him. I know.
Yeah, I like him too, but just not for redraft. Not this year. No.
Okay, we'll see.
Maybe later on.
I see him as a late round grab. I think Pittman could have some decent value and potentially a flex option this year. Now,
if you said you better at me than with this redraft, this is your wheelhouse. This is where you shine. So maybe I need to shut up on Pittman.
Well, let's just say we both have differing opinions in that regard. But what do you think about Rager or even Justin Jefferson if we're talking rookies? Or you can throw in Brandon Ayuk too.
Rookies, I'll take Ayuk and Ruggs.
Okay.
I'll take those late.
See, now I liked Ruggs. I liked him before he was drafted to the Raiders because I think that they're going to throw him into all kinds of different opportunities, and I don't necessarily see him as that. I see him more as a complementary type of receiver rather than like the forced number one. And if they try to force him as the number one, I'm not sure if we're going to see him succeed. I don't know. Plus, there's also the just the whole understanding that receivers who run a sub 4.3 in the combine don't amount to much in the NFL. And there's reasons behind that. Generally, they're smaller. They don't necessarily go over the middle for the tough contested catches. They because they're fast, coaches tend to put them in the 9 route. And that's what they do. And that's what they stick with.
That's understandable.
So there's a little bit of concern there for me with Ruggs.
Not for me.
But if they use him like a joker, like a weapon all over the field, I mean that's possible, man. We could see him do a lot of great things, but I'm not sure how they're going to use him, and I'm not sure exactly what he's comfortable with as far as running routes. So we'll find out. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. Like I say, time will tell.
Time will tell.
I love Ruggs though, man.
All right, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot on Ruggs. Tell me. Tell us.
Mine is simple. Folks think he's like the Marquis Goodwin, the 9 route guy. Because when you hear 4.27 speed, you automatically throw him into that box of the 9 route guy. That's all he can do. That's all he's made of, and you forget about him. But when you look at Ruggs, man, Ruggs not only is his hands is big, Ruggs has my ball mentality along with that, and also. What I want to say is Ruggs is going to be moved all over the field. And Ruggs is your yards after the catch guy, which is the new NFL now. Like I was saying, the big body Michael Pittmans and those guys are being not shipped out of the league, but their role and their place in the NFL is being diminished because now the coaches are teaching the quarterbacks to throw to the open man instead of to let's say Mike Evans, for instance. Coaches are teaching them to throw to that slot guy instead of to the double coverage guy. Because remember when Mike Evans was there, Mike Evans was a target hog. That's where it went. But then it took that shift over to Godwin because they didn't want to just keep funneling the ball to Mike Evans, which is your big body X, which is why D-Hop is out of Houston. They didn't want him just to keep funneling that. That NFL is done. They want those yards after the catch smaller guy because the rules of going across the middle, they can't hit you going across the middle no more. You don't get your skull cracked like Austin Collie used to.
Yeah, right. True.
It's a new day. Ruggs through the middle, Ruggs on post. Man, Ruggs on the slant, he's gone. Ruggs on the bubble screen, he's even gone. And as he acclimates himself to the NFL, Ruggs will be able to do the full route tree. And Ruggs will be in echelon like the Tyreek Hills. But everybody's just taking him and putting him into that 9 route box, thinking he's a track star first, then a football player, when in actuality, Ruggs is a football player first, and who just happens to run track.
So you think he's the next Tyreek Hill, perhaps?
Perhaps. He's a football player is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
He's not a track star.
Okay.
He's a football player that just happens to be a track star.
Would you take him ahead of Jerry Jeudy?
Ooh, that's a good one. In redraft?
Yeah, redraft this year.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. How about Will Fuller?
Ruggs before Will Fuller? No.
Deontay Johnson?
No. Oh, let me tell you this. I meant to tell you this on your Darren Waller.
Okay.
When you had Darren Waller.
Yeah.
I just traded my Waller for Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
What you think?
I mean, if you have depth at tight end, I think that's a great move.
I don't have a tight end now.
Oh, no.
I got Njoku. I got Higbee. I got what's the guy's name?
Well, Higbee's decent.
Eifert. I got Eifert and Ossie, Dalton Keene. I just got a bunch of, I got Albert O. Those are my tight ends going into the year.
Oh man,
I traded Waller for Deontay Johnson. I think Deontay Johnson can grow into something special.
Yeah, he can. I like Johnson this year, especially with Ben coming back. Provided that Roethlisberger is the same as he was before.
I know, right?
But I like that, and we're gonna find out real quick if
we'll
Roethlisberger can throw. That's a concern.
Now, what was you saying? You were saying something before that. I'm sorry. That thought came back to my mind.
I think what did I say? I said Jeudy versus Ruggs. I think it was the last thing I mentioned.
I'll take Ruggs over Jeudy. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But I probably wouldn't take Ruggs. I probably wouldn't take Ruggs over any wide receiver that's already has a role.
Got it. Okay.
When you battle him up against a rookie, I pretty much take Ruggs over pretty much everything in redraft.
Right. Okay. All right. Who do you think is a receiver that is kind of like maybe in like the top 30-ish or so who could make a big jump this year?
Say that again, please.
Who's a wide receiver in like the top 30 or so that could make a big jump this year? Like you've got Marquise Brown. You've got
that's it.
Marquise Brown, your guy?
Absolutely. Yes, he's going to be a household name after this.
Any concern for Devin Duvernay at all?
Yes.
What's the concern?
Lamar Jackson.
Right, but why would you like Brown over or explain to me why Lamar Jackson's the concern?
Because Lamar Jackson is going to look for Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown, and he's going to run if it's not there. He's not looking for a third read.
Stuff over the middle, right? Stuff over the middle rather than the perimeter. Because I think I think Jackson excels better as a passer on stuff over the middle, or if it's like a play action, where they've got something on a corner deep or crossing route, something like that.
And that's Marquise, and that's Marquise.
Yeah.
Even I'm not saying Duvernay or Boykin can't play. They're good talents. They're just in the wrong place.
Yeah, and Duvernay also kind of is more like a running back as well. He's a little bit thicker than Marquise Brown, but I don't necessarily see him in that role. That's yet to be seen. But right now, Marquise Brown is the guy that he has a rapport with. So you think Marquise Brown could be a top 20 receiver?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your pick. Would you take him over Deontay Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. What about Michael Gallup?
Michael Gallup or who?
Over Marquise Brown.
Yes. No.
You take Brown?
Marquise Brown. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, now I'm wondering how far you have Marquise Brown up. Let's see. Would you take Marquise Brown over Julian Edelman?
Say that again, please.
Marquise Brown or Julian Edelman?
Marquise.
Okay. All right. We're going further. How about Devonte Parker? I'm just looking at who's at the wide receiver, ahead in the wide receiver 30, 29, 28, 27. So I'm getting there. Would you take Marquise Brown over Devonte Parker?
I know it sounds crazy, but yes, because once Tua comes in, he won't have Fitzpatrick to force him the ball like he does.
Okay. What about DJ Shark?
That's why I got to stop.
Okay. All right. So there's the stop. DJ Shark's currently a wide receiver 26 is what I'm showing here.
Oh, man. Well, I guess no. I guess not top 20 then.
Not quite top
20 sounded good. I wouldn't be surprised if he finished top 20, put it that way.
Gotcha. Let's see. What do you think of, you already mentioned Brandon Ayuk. What do you think about Jalen Hurd?
Oh, love Jalen Hurd. Jalen Hurd.
Jalen Hurd is someone that I think, he's one of my sleepers. When you asked me to come on the show, I wanted to make sure I mentioned Jalen Hurd because if you remember last year, before he hurt his back, last preseason, you remember it was him, it was Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd. They were the ones who took center stage in the preseason who each had like a touchdown or two. And they looked like they could be that 1-2 punch in the 49ers offense at receiver. And then, of course, Hurd got hurt. Samuel took off. And, now hopefully we have a chance to see them both, at receiver. And then, of course, they drafted Ayuk. I'm leaning Hurd over Ayuk. But I'm open to discussion. But Hurd's my guy in that offense as a sleeper.
I'm a believer in Hurd. But if you look at San Francisco, that's the new NFL right there. That's what the new NFL is looking like. Yards after the catch. Deebo, yards after the catch. Brandon Ayuk, yards after the catch. Hurd, yards after the catch. You see what I'm saying? So you can kind of move X, Z, W, doesn't matter. You can kind of move those guys all around in each position, and it's all about the mismatch. That's the new NFL we're up against now.
Would you put Curtis Samuel in that too?
Yeah. That's what I'm telling folks. Look, your NFL is coming from this 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guy. It's coming down to that 5'8", 5'9" guy that's coming across the middle like Ruggs. That's your new NFL. That's why I like Ruggs a little bit more than others. That's why I'm gravitating more towards Marquis Brown, because this NFL now is becoming a track meet. The rules and regulations of switching this thing over to a positionless wide receiver core. So that's where we're going. That's why I'm lining up with those Tyreek Hills, Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson, those type of the smaller Henry Ruggs, the smaller type guy that has the speed. When he gets the ball, he's gone. That's what we're encountering now. You heard it from Typhoon first. That's where we're going.
There we go. That's right.
That's where we're going. But as far as Jalen Hurd,
he's 6'5", 228. He's big.
He's a red zone threat. But Hurd can play the slot too.
Yeah, he was a running back 3 years in college.
After he's the one that kept Kamara on the bench, right?
Yes, at Tennessee.
Yeah. So, look, guys. Let me just give a disclaimer here. Look, guys, we just talking football. We just sitting here unloading. We don't have a script. We just two guys just sitting here talking fantasy football, the game we love. We're talking redraft. We're talking dynasty. Everything might not. We don't have a show notes and things of that nature. We're just doing it on the fly right now, folks. So, hey, we're just vibing together, Jeff and myself. We're just sitting back unloading. So I just want to make sure to let everybody know that. We don't have an itinerary for this.
Our topic isn't exactly redraft
football.
sleepers. All right, we'll have to change that, but that's fine. What's your take on Teddy Bridgewater this year?
I can't do it.
I
can't do it.
How come? Why?
I can't do it, man.
How come?
I can't do Teddy Bridgewater. I can't do it. All right. Let me explain myself what I talk to my subscribers about. I want ballers, man. I want guys who can change the game, not only for their team. I'm talking about guys who change the game. I'm talking about as far as fantasy points for you as well. Because if they're changing the game on the field for their team, they're automatically changing the game on your fantasy team, right? So let's say if it's 4th down and 15, I want the guy who's getting ready to get the ball in that type of situation. I want those. I call those type of guys balls when the light come on. It don't really matter about where they're playing. It's just the fact that they are playing. Because once they're on the field, they're going to produce, period. Because they're ballers.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You can't put a 40 time to them. You can't put a 3-cone. You can't put bench press. You can't put hand size on them. They just ball, man. When you can't explain it. That's what I'm looking for. Teddy Bridgewater is not that. I don't want it. You see what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying.
I'm not going to waste my time. And I'm sorry, Teddy. I'm not going to waste my time on something like that when I'd rather take somebody on the uptick.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? I'm not wasting my time on Teddy.
I know what you're saying. But what happens if he becomes this quarterback who can now do well under Joe Brady's guidance on the offense? We saw what Brady did with LSU. We saw what Joe Burrow did with LSU, and then what he did with Joe Brady, where LSU was the 38th ranked offense in college football in 2018, and they turned number one ranked offense in 2019. 60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. All why? Because it was Joe Brady's offense. Or at least, he was the passing game coordinator. He was the one who took over in the red zone. He was the one that was responsible for all of the, a lot of the touchdowns and the back and forth as far as learning and adjusting for Burrow. Why can't Brady do that with Bridgewater?
I'm just from the show me state.
Mm-hmm.
As far as when it comes to him, you just got to show me. And if he does it, then I'll draft him next year.
Yeah, you definitely could do that.
I got to see him. I'm sorry, I got to see it from Bridgewater first. I'm not touching him.
Yeah, but I mean,
to do with it.
You could take him as a third quarterback or a really late quarterback too, or depending on how big your roster is. And
he's wasting space. Then that's wasting space. I can do other things.
Okay, fair enough. But I think he's going to definitely outperform his draft position of quarterback 25 or whatever it is right now.
I got to see it. I got to see that one, Jeff. I know you're a Panthers fan, man. I'm sorry, man.
We'll see.
Sorry.
In my opinion, it all kind of comes back to Joe Brady and how much that he can change in terms of Bridgewater. How much can Bridgewater execute, and how much is he going to give Bridgewater in terms of offensive opportunities? So, I think it's all about Brady. But
I would take that PJ Walker guy before I take Bridgewater.
Wow. That's interesting. I mean, I like PJ Walker, but right now Bridgewater seems to be the guy, and that's who they're going to be gravitating to. But Walker is more of the quarterback who is kind of waiting in the wings. We'll see what happens with him. But I think it's all dependent on Joe Brady and how well he can orchestrate the offense and how his quarterbacks can execute. So, hey,
he's one of those guys, Jeff, that I talked to my subscribers about. I'd rather him be on your team, and if he blows up, and if he becomes a baller, that I have no problem with buying him from you. Then,
okay,
I won't ball. I want ballers, and if he proves to be a baller, now buy him. I change my stance.
Gotcha. Well, hey, look, I gotta cut this short here, or cut it long. We've been talking for a while.
you missed a long time ago cutting it short. You missed.
Yeah, I know. We definitely missed that. I mean, I'd love to do a part 2. We definitely could keep on talking, but my my laptop battery is going low. I've got dinner I got to make, so I gotta run here. But
all right, do you think?
Definitely appreciate coming on the show and talking with you about all these players and our thoughts, our opinions, and kind of putting it all together. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. I wish you well with your YouTube channel. You're doing really well with it. I can't wait to see Merton Hanks on here and see what he has to say. Really looking forward to that. So
appreciate it. Thanks
again. Thanks so much. And we definitely will do this again. We got to do that. Remember we talked about doing that show about NFL picks?
Man, we can do it.
We still could do that.
We can do it. We can do it, Jeff. I'm open. Look,
right.
let me say this before you go. I guess I should say this off air, but I said it now. You want me to send you the hard copy of this too, so you can put it on your channel too, or how you want to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the hard copy over there too, right?
Well, I could just get it off of your YouTube channel.
Oh, you can just yank it from there? Okay.
Yeah. It's fine.
I don't know if it'll be in 4K. This will probably be a 1080p one.
Okay. Either way, it works. We'll do it, man.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, no script, just two guys just sitting back talking football. Next time we'll open the floor for discussions and we'll take questions and kind of let you guys in on the next one. Okay. Since if we're going to do it with that format, we'll just open it up for everybody.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Jeff.
You got it. Thank you.
We go.